All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. Here we are again on a Thursday and ready to talk to Jeff Seibert, the CEO of Digits, who we met at Scaling New Heights. It was so awesome to meet him. The first time I met him, I didn't know who he was. And then Heather said, Donna, that's Jeff from Digits. Didn't you want to talk to them? And I went, oh my gosh. And then I found him later on, thank God. and then he agreed to come on our show.
Yeah, we're
So we
thrilled.
are so excited.
And you have some cred behind you. You
Oh,
work for
yes.
Twitter or whatever they call it now.
Yes.
What's your background?
Yeah, I'll give a quick background. But first, Donna, Deborah, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh,
It was
we're thrilled
amazing
you're
seeing you at Scaling New Heights.
excited all week.
Well, as quick background for everyone, yeah, I'm Jeff Seibert, the founder CEO of Digits. My whole life has been tech and coding. I taught myself to code when I was 13, released an app on AOL back in the mid 90s, and have just spent my whole life building stuff. So I did a document collaboration company. We got acquired by Box. I did a mobile developer tools company. We got acquired by Twitter. And so, yeah, at Twitter, I became head of product in 2015. Fortunately, well before all the Elon drama and current chaos that it's dealing with. I helped produce a couple Netflix documentaries. I was in a documentary called The Social Dilemma, all about Facebook and Twitter and the challenges with social media. And then in 2018, I started Digits. And the goal has been to basically reimagine what would the next generation of accounting software look like for this modern world of machine learning. Because AI wasn't a thing in 2018, but machine learning was, and it's the same technology. AI is just a rebrand.
Now, why did you pick accounting and not something like like how to talk to your mom better on the TV or something?
Yes, great question. So every company I've started has always been my own problem. Like I became obsessed with a problem and just like had to solve it. And with Digits, this problem came actually from the Crashlytics journey. So we got very lucky with scale. We went from 0 to 300 million phones in 12 months. Today, Crashlytics is on 6 billion active phones, basically every active smartphone on Earth. And that journey showed me how powerful real-time data could be because we had live dashboards showing all of our usage. And you have Google Analytics, you have A/B testing tools, you have things like Grafana that show you every request your server's getting. And those are all real time and they're all basically free to set up. And then on the finance side of the company, honestly, I was sitting there waiting a couple weeks to get my monthly financials, and I got a black and white balance sheet, P&L, cash flows, and I was like, really? Like, what happened here? Something's wrong.
Yeah,
And so that was the premise of Digits: is can we make small business finance real time and intuitive? And so we fell all the way down the rabbit hole. Like I had no formal background in finance or accounting. So I read 2 accounting textbooks. We hired UCLA's professor of accounting to give us a private class for our team. As we sort of learned the space, we realized the problem was not the accountants. The accountants were great. The software was terrible. And so that was the start of the business.
and then how long ago was this? 5 years, you said?
So that was 2018. So it was 7 years ago, believe it or not. It took us a little bit to figure out exactly what we were building. We ended up spending about 5 years in heads down, just R&D mode. And then we got it working 18 months or so ago, maybe close to 2 years ago now. And we started doing a private alpha, private beta, and testing our ledger with obviously real businesses, real monthly closes. So we did 2,000 month end closes on the product before we gave it to anyone. And then we just launched this spring.
Now, who are the demographics that are going for this product? Because I can envision the old-timey accountants going, well, there's no checks to write. What about this? And then, of course, then I see the young people who don't even know what a paper check looks like.
Right.
So who are your target audience? I mean, who do you really embracing this?
So Digits is designed to be a ground up complete replacement for QuickBooks for small business finance. It's really great today for basically anywhere from 0 when you're just starting the business all the way up to 5 or 10 million in revenue. And we expect to keep expanding that. So multi-dimensional support, departments, locations, projects, that's coming shortly this fall. We'll keep like making it more and more powerful, but it's really great for businesses that, as you said, have sort of a modern mindset. And
Right.
so if you're connected to modern banks to Ramp to Stripe to Mercury, whatever it might be, we can automate a lot of the bookkeeping tedium because all the data flows in, and then our AI models are able to automate about 90+% of it.
Now, we hear a lot with QuickBooks just came out with this new thing that everybody hates. We're all turning it off.
Yep.
And it's called, they said, look at the agents. And
Yep.
I keep thinking of Get Smart. You know, Maxwell Smart, 99, the agents are there.
Yep.
What are AI agents? Can you talk?
We're hearing it across many different platforms too. I don't only hear it with accounting, but I'm hearing it across many different platforms.
Can you explain
So what are
it
agents?
from a 5-year-old?
Yes. All right. So agents are definitely the new hot thing in Silicon Valley. And just like a year ago and maybe a year and a half ago, the hot thing was just AI. And so everyone I'm sure has played with ChatGPT, right? You have this large language model that you can give it a prompt and it'll complete that. So you ask it a question, it'll try to answer it. You start a poem, it'll try to write your poem. It'll generate a completion for whatever your prompt is. What we realized is that you can actually start running these LLMs in a loop.
LLMs, okay, what's that?
Sorry, LLM is a large language model.
Okay, and that's what ChatGPT is right now?
Exactly. So ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude, these are all large language models. They're trained on basically the written content of the entire internet. And yes, and that is how they get smart, quote unquote. You should think of them, they're not actually smart. They just have a lot of context. So they see basically everything that's ever been written. And so when you give it a prompt, when it's like, okay, the quick brown fox, it's going to complete jumps over the lazy dog because that's the most likely completion of that prompt, right? And so what's interesting is, let's imagine you ask it an accounting question. It is going to give you an answer. It doesn't know accounting. It has basically looked at the whole internet and what are the most likely words to come after that question?
So what kind of accounting thing would it look at? I mean,
it's reading everything. It's reading everything ever written online about accounting.
Okay, I don't need a LLM return of what accounting is.
Correct. So let's get back to the agents. Okay. So what people realized is if you give the LLM a problem, right? So let's say it's like, hey, can you go book this transaction, right? And here's my chart of accounts. It'll make a guess at that. Okay. And LLMs in our benchmarking are about 65, 70% accurate. So it's not great, right? But they make a guess at it. If you run them in a loop, you can then have it ask itself, wait, was that correct? And that causes the model to have to think more. And then you're like, okay, well, what do you want to do differently? And the model will again propose something. And then you say, okay, go do that. And you run this in a loop and then it does that. And you're like, is that correct? And no, maybe it wants to go do something else.
Now, is this doing it itself or are we prompting it?
No, it's doing it itself. So agents are basically models that run in their own loops. That's the power of an agent. And
so where do we come in?
So you can give the agent the task, what's the goal, and what's the sort of satisfying condition for that goal. And then you can also give the agent tools. And so maybe the agent decides, I don't know what this transaction was. I need to Google it. And so you give it a tool that lets it Google things. This is exactly what we've done. Okay. And now the agent can go and Google that transaction and learn more about that business and write its own dossier about that business and what that transaction likely was. And then it can try to book it better. And so that's how to think about agents. They're these large language models running logic in a loop to try to do the job better.
I like that they're running logic in a loop.
Yes.
Okay. So then when we interact with the program and put in, say, we want Google to be categorized here. Let's just say that. We're now interacting. Now we're teaching that agent what we want within that one little scope of like the books.
Correct. So let me draw the distinction though. So like QuickBooks and a bunch of other players in the space are trying to bolt these agents on to their existing system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Digits does not work like that. And we actually use all of our own models for the bookkeeping that take a different approach. So the big thing to think about is all of these LLMs, they're called generative models, right? So you give it a prompt and it is generating the response to that prompt.
Okay.
That means they can hallucinate. They make things up, right? It'll say,
Yeah.
this is like travel expenses for Mexico. And you're like, well, that's not one of my chart of accounts categories. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so they can hallucinate. What we've learned over the past 7 years of building digits is accounting is not generative, right? You do not want this model hallucinating your books.
No.
Right.
Accounting is predictive. You have your set chart of accounts, you have this transaction, you need to predictively decide where it goes in that chart of accounts. And so that's the secret to digits. We've spent 5 years training our own predictive bookkeeping models that are highly, highly accurate. So just like the LLMs are now around 65, 70%, in benchmarking this spring, we're already above 93% accurate.
Wow.
And so
Nice.
that all of a sudden becomes really useful, because if you can automate 90% of the bookkeeping labor, that saves a ton of your time to actually spend advising your clients, taking on more clients, scaling your practice, whatever your goals might be.
So if you take something like a bill,
Yep.
okay, I have an invoice to me, which is a bill to you.
Yep.
How does, because in the old fashioned way, I would print the invoice, stick it in an envelope, mail it to you, you'd open it up, you'd enter the data, you'd
Yep.
write a check, blah, blah, blah. I get it back, deposit the bank.
Yep. The
How
whole loop.
does Digits do it?
So with digits, we have trained models to understand bills and invoices too. So you upload the bill or invoice to digits, the model automatically reads it. And this will be funny because the accounting profession has so much history with OCR tools to like try to extract the data, right? And it never really worked.
Yeah.
These models now are incredibly accurate, and they don't need a template. They can understand any invoice you got from anywhere. And so Digits automatically pulls out the total, the invoice number, the due date. It splits the line items for you. It then looks at the line item description and makes a guess at how to categorize it. And so literally in 1 second, you upload the bill, boom, you see all the information.
So, like with an agent, okay, I have a new vendor,
Yep.
never seen before. I
Yep.
mean, my books have never seen it.
Yep.
I would upload the bill, and they would go looking at this. This agent would say, "Well, what bill was this? Let me Google it. Who is this guy? What does this do? Oh, I see. This guy is for this.
Yep.
I'm going to put it to this account based on the history or whatever it is for this account." That's
Yep.
how the agents work. They're going to be going out and looking up. Because I was the agent.
You were the agent before. Yes, exactly. Yes. You were doing all of this.
That is the best way to put it.
All right. So now Digits has the bill up there.
Yep.
And then how does the bill get paid?
So we have full payment rails built into Digits. And so you can go and send the bill out to your client for them to approve, and they approve and pay the bill, and they just click pay, and you've basically connected your bank account, will pull the money and pay the bill. And then it's the opposite on the invoicing side. So when you send out the invoice, the customer pays the invoice online, and the money deposits right into the account.
And all of these AR and AP are built in within Digits. They're not something we need to then go out, like with QuickBooks Online. You have the payment thing you have to sign up for. And
Correct. It's all built in. Yes. It's all built in. Yep. And included.
Wow. So are there any apps that we can get rid of?
So I don't know if I should name names on this public podcast, but we have our focus is building all the core features you need to power the month-end close for your client. So obviously we just talked a bunch about the bookkeeping. Transaction review is also built in. So when you have a question, you can comment on the transaction right in Digits and ask your client what this was, so that you get the context right there. The reporting is all built in. So you can make a fully customizable in-browser report. It's sort of like Google Docs, but for finance. So you customize the cover photo, you drag and drop different graphs and charts in. The AI will draft the executive summary for you. So it gives you a starting point, and then you can edit it. It automatically does the sort of flux analysis or variance analysis for you. So as you're reviewing the financials, if there's something you see, it's like, oh, marketing spend jumped 25% this month. You can just one click add that to the executive summary, and Digits will tell you why. And it'll be because like, oh, your spend with Google ads increased or whatever it might be. So you can draft the narrative, the storyline to your client really easily within the product.
Now, here's a question we have in the chat from our friend Teresa.
Yes.
He goes, is Digits able to discern what type of industry it's looking at the start? Do we have to say, for example, I own a propane distribution company. Would it know what the GL should look like?
Oh, this is a great feature request. So right now, when you set up a client on Digits, you can do a couple of different things. So if you're bringing them over from QuickBooks or an existing ledger, it's super fast. We import all their historical data, and you basically pick up exactly where they left off. So we train on that. The models train within the first few minutes of you being on the product, and they learn that business based on your chart of accounts and everything. If you start fresh, you have two choices. You can either upload a chart of accounts you want, or you can have Digits bookkeeping agent create the chart of accounts. And this is very interesting. What it does is it looks at all your transactions, and as they come in, it builds a chart of accounts based on your actual financial activity.
Can you tell it to say, I only want 25 chart of accounts? I don't want 1,000 chart of accounts.
So that's interesting. We haven't put that limit in yet because it doesn't want 1,000 either. It turns out to be like a relatively reasonable set.
Oh, good.
And so the one other input you do add is type of business, like what industry are you in and so on, and then it'll build that chart of accounts based on the activity it sees.
Yeah, because I had a realtor come in and he had a chart of account for every single vendor he ever paid.
Oh, wow. Yes, that would not happen.
I've seen some amazing things in the chart of accounts.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is actually a great distinction to draw. One of the big differences in Digits is if you look at QuickBooks, Xero, even NetSuite, right? These are relational databases. All the data is just stored as text in this database. And so when you say have a Uber ride, it just sees UBER, right? It doesn't know what Uber is. And in QuickBooks, you can't have a vendor and a customer with the same name, which is crazy, right? Digits completely different. So in Digits, everything is an object. Your vendors, your customers, your bills, your invoices, your chart of accounts, everything's an object. We form this graph. All the transactions connect all these objects. And so Digits knows what Uber is. It knows what Uber Eats is and that is different. And that's how it gets really smart at being able to do the bookkeeping.
So we don't have to set up rules like we do in QuickBooks Online. There's rules. If you see this, put it here. If you see this, do this. The agents know the rules.
Yes, and the agents watch you work. So this is the big difference. In Digits, don't worry, they're not taking pictures of you. It's okay. So the way Digits works is there are no rules, right? You do not have to sit there and set up and maintain rules. What we've pioneered is our predictive models that we've trained internally learn instantly from your work. And so when you go and edit a transaction, it instantly takes that into account. When it goes, let's say a new transaction came in and it can't decide, it sends that to you in your inbox. And so it'll ask you, how should we book this? And you can, of course, send that to your client if you need more input. When you book that transaction, it learns instantly. And so it'll mimic your work for every future transaction that matches that. And so you don't have to like do the work and then also manage the rules. You just do the work and Digits is learning from you.
Okay, now I have a weird question. There's a lot of people out here who think they can do accounting.
Yes.
And they can't.
Yes, agreed.
And so are the agents going to learn the wrong things?
So this is actually a really, really good question. It gets into the technical architecture.
Right.
So we actually have different flavors of the models. And as you notice, you're right. Any random person can go and sign up for Digits for their business and do whatever they want, right? We actually keep those models separate. And when accounting firms sign up, they get models that are trained on accounting firm data. So it is more correctly, professionally done. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And so you don't need to worry about
non-accounting firm sign up as an accounting firm. What?
it would be
that's a problem that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, because people sign up for QuickBooks Online account and they know the first thing about it.
Right. That's a good point. We do at this stage, like we talk with all the accounting firms who sign up, so that's not a problem today. But yes, we'll defend against that.
Okay, good. Now Teresa has another question.
I like this question a lot because it's the bank feeds, which are a huge pain point.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there limitations to bank credit cards in digits, meaning baby banks versus grown-up banks? Credit unions versus Bank of America, for example. And then, of course, then there's the 2FA, which we understand why.
Yep.
So does it connect to pretty much all the banks or just the big banks?
So we work with Plaid. So we support 12,000 U.S. banks. So it works with everyone, all the little credit unions and everything. And it'll be the same experience with every other fintech that you work with that uses Plaid. So it's the exact same flow and everything. We do direct integrations with some of the major banks because we want those to just be like as fluid as possible. Our first big one's with Mercury, but like more will be coming there. But overall, it should work pretty much the same across all the banks.
Okay.
As long as they're on the Plaid system, right?
Exactly. If they're on Plaid, you're good. Yes. If
Most
you're
of
not,
them are.
if they're not on Plaid, complain to the bank. Like, how can they not be on Plaid now?
Yeah.
Because I know when I
I
started,
run across it.
It is crazy to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you have these banks, and when in fact, I went to a client one time and I said, "Why aren't you on QuickBooks? Why aren't you connected to the bank?" And he actually called the bank,
Great. Yep.
and they said, "Well, because it costs money." And this guy was actually on the board of the bank.
Oh, wow.
Because I told him, because I didn't know that. I said, "Let me tell you, if you were setting this up and you told me that bank and I knew that, I would say, don't use that bank."
100%. Yes.
And,
I mean, they're being left behind.
He
Yeah.
called and he said, "Why aren't you? Because it costs money, blah, blah." He goes, "Well, you better get on it or we're,
Right. We're moving banks. Yeah, for sure.
so these, because that's because Teresa says she's run across some banks that don't have the Plaid connection. Boo.
Yeah. It is
Yep.
surprising in this day and age. And Plaid just filed to IPO. I mean, it's going to be a massive public company. So it's crazy that they would not be working with Plaid.
Right. So, we can become a Digits partner.
Yes. So
Okay.
we have an accounting partner program. We already work with 100+ firms. And so you can sign up. We'll give you your Digits account for your firm for free. And then you also get volume discount pricing as you add clients. And we give you a nice badge to put on your site and so on and so on.
Now, do you have like a certification track so we can learn all of this stuff?
We do, actually, yes. So we are building out a full training certification program. We've already run it with a couple firms and gotten great feedback. So, yep, that is available.
Yeah, because nothing makes accountants happier than a badge.
It's true. I mean, badges are great.
We need to have a sash.
There we go.
There we
Like
go.
Girl
There should
Scouts
be
and Boy
a
Scouts.
competition at one of these conferences on
Yeah.
like who has the most badges.
I remember when QuickBooks Online came out, nobody was adopting it. And I went to Joe Woodard and I said, if they offered a badge, people would sign up.
Yes.
And
Teresa,
then,
this is another great question. So you can start Digits, 30-day free trial, go on, set it up, and we give you a free demo account. So we have a pre-populated demo account with obviously fake data, but you can go and explore the entire product. You can go and import stuff, export stuff, change it. Like you can just treat it as your own sandbox to do whatever you want.
now let me ask you this. If you import your entire file,
Yep.
then you go, oops, I only really wanted this. Can you delete the file and start over, get rid of the data and start with like nothing? Or
Yes. So let's say you're migrating from QuickBooks or whatever. When you connect that, you actually pick the cutover date. And so any data before that date, let's say you picked, I don't know, July 1 or whatever, any data before that date would be from QuickBooks, and then Digits turns on July 1 and pulls from your banks and cards and payroll and Stripe and so on. If you decided that was the wrong date, you just delete that client account and reboot it with a new cutover date, and it'll do what you want.
Okay, so what if that was your accountant account that you did wrong? That's why I'm asking.
I mean, just go and hit delete and make a new one, and you're good to go.
A new one. I can make a new accountant account. Okay.
Yes. Good.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
we basically give you one free account, so you can use that for whatever you want.
Okay, so I can delete the data and start over and say, you
Yes,
know what? I don't need the data from 20 years ago.
Yep, totally.
I only want it from now. And
You can start clean.
then the cost of the product is $100.
Yes.
And there's no levels, there's no Simple Start, Essentials, QuickBooks Online Plus. It's $100.
Today it's $100. It basically competes head to head with QuickBooks Plus. We will be rolling out some additional plans in the fall, so stay tuned. But yeah, it's super simple. And now QuickBooks raised their prices, so Digits is cheaper.
I know, $115 a month. I remember when Donna remembered it was 15. I remember
15.
$20. And I
It's
thought
crazy.
that was outrageous.
And I do want to call out the $100 a month is unlimited integrations, unlimited transactions. There's no like volume thresholds. It's unlimited users. So we've tried to really simplify everything.
So and that was my
Payroll,
question.
yes. Okay, we are not building payroll. Payroll is its own whole can of worms. We have a really great integration with Gusto, and all the other major payroll providers, ADP, Paychex, Rippling, etc., are coming this fall.
Do you have all the same types of transactions that QuickBooks have? Sales receipts, invoices, bills, journal entries, expenses, credit card payments?
Yes, we've simplified it slightly. So you have bills, invoices, journal entries, pay-ins, payouts. We've felt that actually captures most of it, and you don't need all these little one-offs. So yeah, we've tried to strike the right balance.
Okay, great. So how can we
Oh,
learn?
I don't think we mentioned no inventory either. Did we
Yes.
mention that earlier?
Today,
Yeah.
no inventory system today. We're building out some integrations. We'll have more to share on that next year. But Digits is great today with obviously services-based businesses, software-based businesses, any non-inventory holding business.
Now, I will tell you though, you can do inventory. I have a lot of car dealers. I live in Daytona Beach, NASCAR.
Yep.
We don't do inventory per car. We count it at the end of the month and make an adjustment.
Yeah.
For that, we also have a lot of folks doing. If you just do your end-of-month journal entry, Digits is great.
Yeah. So you can
That's what
still
everyone
have
does
inventory
online.
that you just do the adjustment year and job costing. Teresa wants to
Job costing, project-based accounting coming later this fall.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Anything else, Teresa? You're asking such great questions.
Anything else you're wondering? Come on, now's your time.
Well, now you're on the spot. I remember. But this is great. I mean, I think have we covered? I mean, I'm so excited about this. I mean, when we saw this at Scaling, of course, I saw it last year at Scaling.
Yes. It's come a long way.
Yeah.
It is. I'm so happy to hear that. It's been a long journey. As you know, accounting software is so complicated. There are so many features to build. We really wanted to do it right before getting it out there. And so it's been the reaction's just been extraordinary. We're super
This
pleased.
is where the industry is going. So, I mean, if you want to stay in the background and still do it with paper, pencil, and a slate and chisel and an abacus,
Yep.
you certainly can. But this is where it's going. So you can either be like the head of the adoption curve.
Yep, exactly. Be an early adopter. I mean, AI, as you've seen, the agents are taking over everything. And all of the traditional tools are trying to bolt them on to the top.
Yes.
We started fresh because you can have them just work so much better, so much more accurately if the whole software is architected for that future.
Now, is there anything we should, when we get started in this, that we can, learn it better, make our education faster, more streamlined, so I don't feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
So in the product, when you sign up and you get your accounting firm account, we have the demo client right there. We have a guide and help content to sort of walk you through it. We have a video intro that gives you some basic overview. And then what I would say is, remember, it's watching you work. And so when you set it up, you might notice a few things are miscategorized because the agents are just learning. When you fix it, it learns instantly. And what we've seen is it very quickly ramps from like 90% right to the next month, it'll be high 90s. We've seen a couple clients, it's 100% perfect every month, which is
Can you
crazy.
password protect the file so a client can't go in and change something in prior periods?
So yes, so closed period support. You can go in, mark the period as closed. It freezes everything before that. And so, yeah, the client can't mess anything up.
Can you unfreeze it because I know what I'm doing?
Of course, yes.
Okay, great. And so I can invite as many people to the product as I want. Are there limitations where this person can only say AR, this person, do you have like what's that called? Permissions?
Permissions, yes. So this is another unique thing with Digits. So when you invite your clients, obviously the business owner, you probably invite them in as an admin, they can see everything. You can invite anyone to just one specific object. So one chart of accounts category, one vendor, one customer, and they would just see that, and they can't see payroll or cash balances or whatever else you deem sensitive.
And you don't pay extra for that. That's just $100.
No, that's all built in.
Unlimited amount of. So if I have a company that has 100 users.
Yep, great.
$100, $1 a user.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, we do not charge by seat because we want you to invite, like, the power of Digits is collaborative finance. Like, you're in there, you're commenting with the client, they can share with their management team, they could share one piece of it or one report with their investors. It makes it super collaborative.
Now, who are the accounting firms that are adopting this?
So we've announced one publicly, which is Highline. We have a close partnership with Highline. They're based out of New York. They're moving basically all of their clients over to Digits, and a bunch more are following in their footsteps. So we'll have more to announce later this year.
And are they great? We want to hear all about it because Donna and I are like on board with this. We will be using models.
I love it. Yes, let's go.
I'm all about this. I've loved this stuff for like a long time, and I'm like, it's finally coming to where like we can do it now.
Yeah.
Well, Donna
We're
and I
watching it for years.
horn. We've always thought bigger and far in advance, and when we saw we saw this was coming.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
it was not keeping up, and I'm a huge fan. Intuit made me a millionaire.
Yep.
So, but I thought, you know what? It's now becoming a slog.
And it's, I mean, it's
my
tough,
clients
right?
are like all there.
They're
I mean, they're
out
there.
with architecture, and it's like, can you imagine? I mean, ignore today. Can you imagine in 3 or 5 years it not being mostly automated? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. And of course, it's always changing the ship in the water with clients to get on board. But I found when I went to QuickBooks Online, I said, this is what we're doing. They
Yep.
either came with us or didn't. Most of them did.
Of course.
And, because I'm the pro. I know what I'm talking about.
Right. They have hired you because they trust you.
Yeah. I'm in charge.
Now,
I'm
I
in
have a
charge.
question.
Yeah.
Do you have an app for that?
So we have full mobile support. So you can pull Digits up on your phone and see the dashboards and so on and so on. We don't have a native app in the App Store, but it's been something we're thinking about. So
Can you take a snap a picture of a receipt and have it upload?
that is coming very shortly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So what's next on the horizon for Digits? Where do you see it in a year?
So a couple big things that we're working on. So multi-dimensional accounting, department, class, location project. That's all coming this fall. We're actively building out fully automated bank reconciliation. So you drop the PDF bank statement on Digits, and the agent automatically reconciles it against your transactions. And what's really cool is it picks out the pixel bounding box of each transaction on the PDF. And so when you click on the transaction in Digits, you see it highlighted on the PDF and vice versa. And so it makes reconciliation basically done for you. Same thing with the transactions. If the agent gets stuck and it can't finish one, it then surfaces that for you in its inbox. And so you can come in and click and finish it off.
Now, can it actually go? One thing I do like about QuickBooks Online, it goes to the banking and a lot of them, and will pull the statement.
Yes, we do that as well. So if the bank supports that through Plaid, the statement automatically comes into Digits and automatically gets reconciled.
Wow. And
And
Kelly,
so that-
asked about third-party integrations. How's that coming along?
Yeah, so we've built all the major integrations. So again, 12,000 plus banks, Ramp, Bill.com, Stripe, I'm now blanking, Gusto, of course. And so a bunch more payroll integrations are coming. We're also building out our open API. So any third party will be able to build their own integration and push data in.
And, that means, though, that right tool.
Yep.
Don and I are, in fact, next week I'm going to be at the Right Tool Pro Conference in North Carolina.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep my mouth shut to Hector.
I did actually give Hector a quick demo of Digits, so he's aware of what we're doing.
And I tell you, he's a real forward thinker. So
Yes, he's great. Yeah.
So I just think that I hope that Hector then will sell Right Tool to QuickBooks, and then he'll embrace Digits because he's
that would be fantastic. Yeah.
I'm sure he's looking at it. He's a thinker.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don and I want to be out there in the front, like breaking the ice.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, let's go. That's fantastic.
And I have the type of clients that are all into this because my clients are younger, they're influencers.
Yep.
They're in the digital world. They're working from their phone, so they can take that platform and make it a home screen app.
I mean,
So
they
that.
will love the Digits dashboard because it's drag and drop. You can literally just add whatever you want to it. And so if they want to track a specific type of spend or a specific vendor or customer or whatever, you just drag and drop that onto your dashboard and they get a live view. That's the real power of AI powered accounting, because you've already perfected delivering the books at the end of the month. What the client really also wants is something just directionally correct in the moment, day of, so they can make a management decision in their business. And Digits gives you the best of both worlds, because the AI powered dashboards are going to be, call it 90% right. And then you come through, close the books, give them the perfect books at the end of the month.
Okay, here's a
And
question.
they never look at those, by the way. They don't look at those at all. I'm talking to them day by day.
We get a lot of clients now that have tried to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And then they call us up 3, 4, 5 years in.
Yep.
We got to clean it up.
Yep.
How's the cleanup process?
This we have spent a lot of time on, actually. So Digits supports full bulk edit support. And so you're just in the ledger. You can view, I can click and just show, hey, show me the past 10 years of data. Look at all the spend in this category. Click, bulk select, move it over here, or whatever you need to do. Obviously, full import from CSV and export and so on. And then we also built a couple tools to make that really powerful. So in the vendor and customer directories, you can just click and see, hey, tell me all the new vendors this year, right, that they haven't seen before, or this month. It works on any time period. Or show me all the vendors that were booked across more than one category, so I can review potential mistakes. And so it makes it so fast to just catch little issues.
What about 1099s?
1099 support is built in. You can mark the vendors needing a 1099. Yep, exactly.
Okay, so other than inventory,
Correct.
what doesn't it do?
Inventory is honestly the big gap we have. Apart from inventory, particularly once we ship the department location project support this fall, it's pretty much feature complete versus QuickBooks Plus plan.
Okay, so for those listening, what would be our next step to get started?
So there's one question before that I want to hit up with. Teresa asked, again, Teresa, with these great questions. So grabbing banking data, is it real time, or do we have like a delay? Is there going to be a delay?
It is real time. It is, again, limited by how often the bank
does it.
Plaid.
Okay.
But so it's typically every few hours.
Okay. So it's just limited by the bank syncing with Plaid.
Yep. And for things like
great.
Stripe and so the direct integrations we have with the other financial players, it's very fast because we're pulling that data directly.
Does the connection ever break?
So as you know, Plaid still has some connection breaking issues. Our direct integrations don't break. And so we are selecting the major players to integrate with directly.
Okay. That's great. That's fabulous. So if we want to start, where as baby digit, digit babies?
So go to digits.com, super easy domain, click get started. It'll ask you, are you a business or a firm? Obviously, select that you're an accounting firm, and you'll be able to create your firm account. You'll get your demo account. You can set up your own books. And then basically, you'll be prompted to talk with our partner program, and we'll give you all the details. So yeah, you get a free trial, free account. There's no downside to trying it out.
Great.
I'll get the links in the description for everyone that's seeing this a little bit later too.
Well, I tell you what, this is thrilling.
Awesome.
I learned so much just about the agents. It's all in my head. Like, how do these work? But you explained it so well that I'm like, okay, now I'm more comfortable with this.
Yeah, it's not scary. They are basically trying to take actions just like you have been doing and remove the tedium from your plate so you can spend your time in better, higher value activities.
Great. So now we can do the things like more advisory services.
Exactly. And that's where your clients aren't going to trust an AI advisor. They want you. That's why they've hired you.
Yes.
You should be spending your time talking with them and advising them, not trying to book a transaction.
I know. I always thought like that.
Yep.
But we're at 40 minutes. I mean, we
I know.
10 minutes overtime. We appreciate that you spent the extra few minutes with us.
Of course.
Any last things you want to share with us?
I would just say, again, we've been testing this for a couple years now. We've just launched this spring. We already have hundreds of firms using it. I would love your feedback. So please try it out. Send us. I'm literally Jeff@digits.com. Drop me a note with your feedback, and we're super excited to keep building and get everyone on it.
I can't wait. I mean, of course, I have an account, so I just can't wait.
I'm getting mine set up, and I actually have prospects already lined up for.
Yeah.
I'm already talking to them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So There we go. I created a new company just for AI native.
Yeah, we did, but
So-
Don and I both did. We just created
We
new.
both did it, yeah.
Mine's
That's
called
actually super smart.
AI. And what's yours, Donna?
Mine's called Next Gen Bookkeepers.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we
Yep.
started brand new companies. Out with the old, in with the new.
Before
That
I
is
left
so
Florida,
smart, honestly.
I started it. Like I was just in the car on my app, starting up the new company.
Yeah.
I love it. That's brilliant. You are really ahead of the curve because that is such great framing to then attract the forward-thinking clients and have it just work end to end.
Yeah.
Took me
I'm tired of-
23 days, but I found one. And
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
good.
We're gonna do
Nice,
it. All right.
nice.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Any other
Thank
any
you.
last things, Donna, we need to share?
I think we're good. I'll put all the links in the description for those who are coming in later and watching this. But thank you so much.
So
I have
much.
to say that it's just been a pleasure getting to know you better.
One last question. Kelly's wanting to know about budgeting.
Oh,
We don't have budgeting right now because so many people do the budgets in so many different ways. We do support import. So like you can export, import, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to get feature requests of like, how would you really want budgeting to work? Because we want something that'll work for everyone, not just like one type of or size of company.
Okay, well, Kelly can help you with that.
Great.
I'm Jeff.
I might have some feedback on that too, by the way.
Well, thank you honestly so much for this. This was super fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See ya.